Happy Wednesday, everyone. My name is meteorologist Heather Kane. It's time for our daily hail forecast, sponsored as always by See-Through Group, Merlin Law Group, American Contractor Show, as well as Atlas Roofing. Thank you guys for sponsoring our videos. So let's get right into our weather headlines. It's going to be another quiet day today, but we are bracing ourselves for tomorrow, as it could be a relatively busy day in terms of severe weather. So we'll talk about the areas that we'll be watching in just a few minutes. And yeah, speaking of tomorrow, a severe risk will basically be stretching from Oklahoma down to Texas. So we'll get into more detail with that. And then as we get into Friday, those storms will be pushing into the southeast. And yeah, so it could possibly be a few busy days around here. But before we get into the forecast, we do have one event. It's going on right now. We are down in Florida for Win the Storm. This will be going from today through Friday. So if you're at the show, we are at booth 505. You can't miss us. I believe the truck is in the booth. So yeah, come on by and say hi to HailTrace. If you are interested in our products and you want to sign up, we can give you some more information on how we can possibly help you. So again, today through Friday, we are at booth 505 down at Win the Storm. So come on by and say hi to us. So here are our current conditions across the lower 48. Quiet in the southeast. For the most part, we're quiet here in the central U.S. as well, just some higher cloud cover, but we do have some areas that are receiving rain as well as some snow. We have some snow across the northern parts of the U.S., and then we have that rain that's been impacting California. It's finally starting to dry out a little bit in the state of California. That moisture is starting to push off to the east now. Phoenix, you're getting some heavy rain and then some snow and mixed precipitation in those higher elevations. And then here's the remnants of our nor'easter. Looks really pretty on satellite. This is where the low is basically centered. Just look at those bands just wrapping around that low pressure, but continuing to bring in some moisture in the form of some light rain and mostly snow here across parts of the northeast. This will continue to track off to the east as we get throughout the day today. So zooming back out, looking at our temperatures, it is once again another chilly day across most of the U.S. It's only in the 30s from Kansas City, lower 40s in New York City as well as Minneapolis, and that cold weather stretches all the way down to the south. Once again, if you want that warm weather, you gotta go to Florida, specifically at the southern part of the state where it's 75, and then 50s and 60s here in the Central Plains. So here's our future radar for today. Again, pretty quiet for this afternoon and evening in the central part of the U.S. and here in the southeast, but rain and snow in the northern part of the U.S. as well as in the west and into the Rockies. As we get into the rest of tomorrow and getting into Thursday morning, this next system really starts to ramp up. And this is the one that we'll be watching for the potential of severe weather and even some heavy snow on the cold side of that system. And you can even see that cold front here picking up on this future radar at noon tomorrow. So we'll get into more details about that severe weather in just a second. But first, let's look at our future jet stream. That nor'easter moving off the into the Atlantic. And here comes this next little wiggle here. This little shortwave isn't going to do a whole lot, but this next one is as we get into tomorrow morning and into tomorrow afternoon. We're going to stop at noon tomorrow Central Time. We'll start to keep an eye on folks here in central Oklahoma and keeping an eye on Dallas as well, eastward into Arkansas, as this will be the trough that will be sparking off that severe weather tomorrow afternoon and evening. And then as we get into our Friday, that trough will move off to the east, and we'll be watching you guys in the southeast for the potential of severe weather there. And then in terms of severe weather for our weekend, it looks like we'll be pretty quiet, but that cold air will continue to stick around, unfortunately, for a lot of us in the northeast, but we start to get some more ridging out west. So at least you guys will be warming up a little bit. So here is our cold front, again, starting tomorrow around noon Central Time. You can see that difference in those temperatures, a warmer ahead of the cold front and a lot colder behind it. As we get to tomorrow afternoon and evening, that cold front is going to quickly push off to the southeast. So you can see those temperatures will start to fall quite rapidly as that cold front pushes off to the southeast. It'll clear Dallas a little bit around midnight or so, and then continue to push off to the east as we get into our Friday, and then as we get into our Saturday morning, it should be near the coast. And you can see it, those blue colors around for our Saturday morning. So again, once that cold front pushes through your area, it's going to cool off quite a bit. So here are our dew points for our Thursday at noon. So tomorrow at noon Central Time, we do have that moisture return. The question for tomorrow is how much moisture will we get? There'll be some, but will it be enough to spark off some decent severe weather? So tomorrow at noon, that dry line will be setting up to the west of Oklahoma City, in the western part of Oklahoma. And then this is at 3 p.m. tomorrow. You can see those dew points really start to drop off a bit as we get into western Oklahoma. So that cold front will be pushing through around 3 to 4 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. More moisture, though, will be streaming in. So Dallas, you may have a decent chance tomorrow to see some large hail and some gusty winds. And that moisture will continue to come on up from the Gulf of Mexico even by 9 p.m. And you can see it's already clearing Oklahoma City. And then as we get into late Wednesday night into Thursday morning, that cold front quickly pushes off to the east. So we could see storms in Houston between 5 and 7 a.m. And then those storms will be impacting us in the southeast from Louisiana eastward to Mississippi, Alabama, and parts of Georgia. And I think it should mostly be a line of storms for our Friday, but we will see what tomorrow brings. And then again, as we get into the morning hours on Saturday, it should make its way off the coast. So here's our instability tomorrow at noon. We will have that instability around here, Oklahoma City down near the Red River. And then as we get to 3 p.m., you can see that cold front will be coming on through, so it'll be taking that instability with it. Dallas still looking good, though, at 3 p.m. as well as getting to 5. Those values look to come on up a bit here at 5 p.m. tomorrow in Dallas, and then getting into tomorrow night as that cold front pushes on to the southeast. It'll take that instability with it, and they're really going to start dropping off as we get into the overnight hours on Thursday and into early Friday morning. And I think this is the last one of the models. This is our significant hail models from noon to 4 p.m. tomorrow. That's going to be the best chance to see any large hail in Oklahoma City, and that's when after about 3 to 4 p.m. that cold front will be pushing through, and that will be the end of the risk here. But Dallas at 4 p.m. we're still seeing those values creeping on up there, so your chances will be around between 4 and 9 p.m. I think that's the best chance, because then that cold front will be starting to inch on in and take that instability with it, and then you can see the values drop off as we get into the overnight hours and basically drop to almost nothing by the time we wake up on our Friday morning. So let's take a look at our future radar starting tomorrow at 7 a.m. Some showers will be around, but then as we move on forward to the noon hour, you can see some heavier precipitation will start to develop, and then we're going to stop it at 3. You can see some individual cells are, at least with this particular model, will start to develop around 2 to 3 p.m., even some more in eastern Oklahoma. And then as we get to 5 p.m., here is a storm, according to this model, just to the south of Oklahoma City, and then more in the southeastern parts of Oklahoma, Arkansas, and then down into Dallas by 6 to 7 p.m. And you can see if we can get a storm by itself, we could see some pretty large hail in Dallas tomorrow. And then I'm seeing some questions about Austin and San Antonio. You guys will see that chance for severe weather as we get into later tomorrow evening. And, anywhere from, 8 p.m. to midnight, I would say, from Austin down to San Antonio. And then that line will clear you guys and push off to the southeast as we get into the overnight hours. Between 5 and 7, Houston, you guys can see some severe weather. It may be more on the wind side. As you can see, it's starting to line out even more here. So let's break it on down for tomorrow's hail forecast. Zoom on into some areas. Here in Oklahoma City, there is that chance for hail, although the chances are going to be low. We're going to be watching here very carefully. It's all going to depend on timing, but we could see some half-dollar size hail in Oklahoma City. And then some higher chances as we get along the Red River Valley down south into Dallas and Fort Worth. So we have some red on there, so hopefully up to 2-inch hail in diameter. That's possible for you guys tomorrow. And then those hail chances stretch down into Austin and San Antonio, although the chances for you guys are also on the low end, as I think it may be more of a wind risk by the time the storms get to you, but the chances for hail aren't 0. So up to half-dollar size hail for you guys, and then some moderate chances for Shreveport up to Fort Smith to see some severe hail as well. And then getting into the wind, again, 60 to 70 mile per hour gusts are possible from here in Oklahoma City down south to Dallas Fort Worth. Again, we have you guys in a high risk level for wind as well, and then some moderate chances to see those severe winds from San Antonio, Austin, eastward to Houston, Shreveport, and then some lower end chances for wind from 60 to 70 miles per hour in Fort Worth, Little Rock, eastward into Memphis. And then lastly, this is a new graphic that we've just recently created. This is the tornado risk. We do have a low to moderate chance to see a few tornadoes across basically the same areas tomorrow afternoon and evening. The best chances to see a tornado will be from Dallas Fort Worth eastward to Shreveport, north to Fort Smith, and low end chances everywhere else in the risk. And then jumping in on Friday, the system pushes east. We'll wake up on Friday morning, and that line will be pushing off to the east here. So Jackson, Mississippi, and then eastward into Birmingham. Could wake up to a few storms on Friday morning. Getting into Friday afternoon, that activity will continue to push off to the east. You can see those brighter colors there. And then it will slowly start to push off the coast as we get into Saturday morning. So here's our look ahead forecast for Friday. Basically, again, Jackson down to New Orleans, and then it should be cleared out from Houston, just to the east of Houston as we wake up on Friday morning, basically around 7 a.m. or so. You guys should be clear. So this is the area that we'll be watching again Friday morning into Friday afternoon. This risk stretches all the way into parts of southern Georgia. I'm keeping it just to the south of Atlanta right now. You guys will still, I think, see storms, but in terms of severe storms, I think the worst of it will stay to your south for now. But again, we're still a few days out, so we'll make some adjustments as necessary as we get closer to that event. but severe weather, again, possible in the panhandle of Florida as well on Friday afternoon. So it could possibly be busy, you guys, as we get into tomorrow, into Friday. If you haven't already, make sure you follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, as well as our TikTok page. And if you have any questions, concerns, if you just want to say hi, you can give us a call at 855-334-4245. You can email us at info@hailtrace.com and check out our website at www.hailtrace.com. And then you can also, if you want to sign up for a demo, you can use your phone and scan this above. Well, that was really good timing. That was sweet. So yeah, you can request a demo with that. And again, we're also down in Florida for Win the Storm for the next few days. So make sure to come by and say hi to us at booth 505 if you're there at the show. And I am meteorologist Heather Kay. I hope you all have a great rest of your Wednesday.